Here are some thoughts of the movies and the series I've seen recently. Elvis is a biopic about Elvis directed by Baz Luhrmann, starring Austin Butler as Elvis. It's a movie that shows some events of Elvis' life. This movie is very long and its length shows. But there were some things of Elvis' life that I thought was very interesting. I like the aspect of how some individuals will use someone for their own benefit, which is something that still happens. Austin Butler did a great job as Elvis and did a very good job to replicate some Elvis scenes. Tom Hanks as Tom Parker was a bit cartoony. I also like that this was not so much Baz Luhrmann as a movie, as for instance like Moulin Rouge was. Also, it's interesting that some had problems with Elvis music, and maybe if Elvis was a big thing, now some might have criticized him for pandering to another culture. As a whole, it was an interesting biopic, but very long. Prey is a Predator film and is a prequel. I haven't seen the first Predator film, only seen Predator and some parts of the second Predator film. This movie is about this Naru and her dog exploring woods and senses there's something big and dangerous in the woods. I thought this movie was quite enjoyable, like the fight scenes of the film. There were some things that did not make sense, in which the Predator is sometimes OP and sometimes not so OP. For instance, having struggle to fight some characters. Also, it takes time for the movie to start. Don't know more what to say. It's quite an enjoyable film that has some really good action scenes. That Tekken 8 trailer looks really good. Oh, we're not talking about that. Tekken Bloodline is a retelling of Tekken 3's storyline. It's about Jin Kazama training and taking lessons from his mother Jun Kazama, his mother getting killed by Ogre. Then Jin trains under Heihachi and wants to have revenge on Ogre. But also Jin trying to figure out more about his father. Also, there's this tournament thing that's happening. One thing that bothered me is that this is supposed to take place in the events of Tekken 3. But some characters were dressed like their other Tekken counterpart. For instance, Julia is dressed like her Tekken 7 counterpart, which is the same for Xiao. This is weird since Howrang looks like his Tekken 3 counterpart, so why cannot they follow Tekken 3 more when it comes to, for instance, of how the character looks like? This is weird since those counterparts, for instance, of Julia and Xiao, they take place 2 years after. Also, some character that is in this movie should not be here, like Marduk. Why? I know this is just a cameo, but this is a still weird cameo. Why is this weird? Since in Tekken 4 he kills Armor King and then is arrested, and then King sends him info about Tekken tournament, and then he joins Tekken 4 tournament. So some characters were just here for fan service purpose and should not really be in this movie. I was okay with Leroy Smith being in this series since I can buy him being Tekken 3. Also, some plot points were weird, like there's tension between Nina and Jin, but that conflict goes nowhere. Also, like I said, it's a retelling, so it does not completely follow Tekken 3. For instance, Paul was the character that defeated first form of Ogre, but here Paul gets defeated and King and then is off from the tournament. And somehow King is more important since King 1 died. But King 2 should not have any relationship to King 1, since King 2 was found by Armor King and trained by him. Also, Paul's characterization was weird. It's like a wiser old person like Sojiro from Persona 5. Also, some fights, but also the animation was weird. Sometimes it really looked ugly, and you could show that this was 3D animation and not 2D. But also some fights were a bit Dragon Ball-ish in how some characters really flew away from some attacks. Yes, I know there are crazy things in Tekken, like Heihachi catching a bullet with his teeth. The ending was weird. Some things happen and just ends abruptly. Okay, for some positives, I like Jin's characterization in this series. Some fights were decent and you could follow the story. This is not the worst Tekken adaptation since the live action movie exists. It's not the best since that would be the old Tekken anime with Kazuya Mishima as the main character. or maybe, oh no, it was not Kazuya, it was June, some one of them. But I would say I prefer Tekken Blood Vengeance over this series. I know that the film is cheesy, but it has its charm. This was okay, but I'm not gonna watch it again. And that's for the film and series I've seen. Thanks for watching. Remember to be grateful for what you have.